And that's it for top stories. But what are your thoughts on some of the big stories making headlines? Kadi joins me now for a review. Starting from the last one, Kadi.
Yeah.
It's not unexpected, right? Particularly after the losses back to back.
Well, so it wasn't a loss with South Africa. It was a draw.
That was considered?
Exactly, a loss. Because some people say it's better to lose so you know where you are than draw. But it's funny how football is. They will celebrate you today, and tomorrow you're either
different story.
out. Jeffrey will say there are two types of managers, or he says they say there are two types of managers. The one about to be sacked and the one who's been sacked already. But that's why for me, I moved to golf. I'm not with all of that emotional roller coaster with football.
It's safe, right?
It's safer. I mean, you don't see golf fans arguing, stressing themselves, who's better, Ronaldo or Messi. You don't get all of those
locking shirts just
Get
because, my team lost.
Or losing appetite and stuff. So I'm doing golf right now. So all the best to all the football fans out there. But it's important to pay attention to what the NFF is doing. But that's not the only big story today. The minimum wage conversation, Bukola, is quite big. And as you pointed out earlier, President Bola Tinubu says that only a minimum wage that the government can afford is what will be approved. The question is, what is that figure? Can we just know what the figure is and do the calculation?
And a minimum wage that we can afford appears a shift from we will give Nigerian workers a living wage. That's a departure, Mr. President. So what happened in between?
Well, let's see what you're saying. Collins Opara is the first one. Says this approach completely ignores the reality of workers struggling to make ends meet. That's how the user captures it. The focus will be on ensuring a living wage, as you said, Bukola, that reflects the rising cost of living and supports the well-being of Nigerian citizens. This user ends by saying the Tinubu government needs to prioritize the people and not just its budget constraints. Very interesting debate, really, that one.
Yes, indeed. And this next one is from Anslem Ominiyi. And they say, or he says, to eradicate poverty in Nigeria, first, you need to pay your workers well before anything else. True.
Simple and short.
Yeah.
This next user, Sani Naira, I think. Says a senator in Nigeria cannot accept 30,000 naira as his salary, but a teacher is accepting less than 30,000 naira as his salary in a country that 500,000 naira can feed you in 2 months. Or do you say can't?
Can't.
Why not have a National Assembly make a bill to let all legislators' salaries be equal with teachers? I imagine that the legislators will not say no to this one. Or would you?
Well, there's been similar proposals in the past. For instance, the Reverend Father in the East says, the political class should also be earning the minimum wage if that's what they're proposing.
There you go.
But let's see how it goes. It's a test of the sensitivity of the leaders that we have, really. This last one on the minimum wage matter is from Michael Lewis, who says, if his government, I'm sure he means if this government can afford 160,000 naira.
Or 160 million
160
naira.
million official cars. 160 million worth official cars for senators. Let them pay minimum wage of 250,000 naira to 300,000 naira.
Well, you can't fault this argument, really. But let's move on to another conversation. We're just on the verge of a major celebration for Muslim faithfuls in Nigeria and cross-border. And we understand that in Kano State, the police have put a stop to Durbar celebrations during Eid al-Kabir due to the ongoing disagreements within the emirate. The case is in court already. We understand that the court has also made a pronouncement that Dubai has jurisdiction. But let's see what people are saying about this Durbar particularly. We start with Northerner Zero. Yeah, Northerner Zero has this to say, that's the best decision. And goes on to say the Durbar should wait till next year and may the court judgment favor the rightful owner of the throne, the user says.
Yeah, and this next one is from Emmanuel Indiokwere, who says, so when will the one and only Emir of Kano finally emerge? Well, we know that the state government has installed one Emir, and that's Emir Sanusi II we know that the dethroned emir is contesting that.
Yeah.
So that's the status quo as it is, and the case is in court.
So I like that we're putting security as a priority here. But let's shift to another story. And this one has been in the news for quite some time. Looks unending at this point. And it's on the alleged 80 billion naira fraud case against former governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello. We understand that the court has now shifted his arraignment till June the 27th. Queen B, that's real Queen B, has a first comment on this one. And it's sort of like a letter. It starts by saying, "Dear EFCC, it's now clear that Yaya Bello has dared you by consistently refusing to appear in court, even today." There you go. "I hope now your men can give him the Yahoo Boys treatment by breaking into his house and forcefully picking him up, maybe in the night." So you can sense the sarcasm, linking it to what people have seen in recent times. And, well, Queen B, you didn't say yours sincerely. I mean, that's how letters usually end, or yours in... Anyway.
Indeed, Kade, this is sarcasm that bites. And how will the EFCC respond to this? Maybe they won't respond at all. But it's an important question.
But the eagle always watches we hear. So.
So this next one is from Faith God W1, who says, "Make sure you guys as an anti-corruption body do the right thing by ensuring justice prevails. And if he's found guilty, he should be taken to maximum prison, and the general public should be updated periodically. Let it not be swept under the carpet." So there should be no sacred cows, and there shouldn't be selective treatment in the
EFCC chair
prosecution of those who are on trial for corruption allegations.
He said he will follow this conclusion. He even put his job on the line.
On the line as well.
Essentially. There you go.
So
that's all
for now. For now.
Well, keep your comments coming in. #CTV Morning Briefing and on WhatsApp.
We'll find time to take all of that. But after this time out, we'll bring you the first leg of our conversation, which would be on the minimum wage. Stay with us. We'll be right back.